There's only ever two types of action that you need to remember when attending a meeting. What do I need to do and what do others need to do? But how do you remember those actions? And more importantly, how do you keep track of them? Welcome to this short tutorial, and today we're going to talk about a really simple technique for how to remember, store and keep track of actions. Really important for any manager who's in lots of meetings, especially busy meetings, or also somebody who's interested in keeping a log like a bullet journal. So what's this simple technique? Well, groundbreaking as it is, and I've got plenty of notes around me, it comes down to two simple shapes. It's a square and a triangle. That's it, a square and a triangle. And honestly, it'll revolutionise your meetings about when taking minutes. So, imagine ourselves now in a meeting and we're very busy and we're taking lots of notes, diligently taking lots of actions for us and actions for other people as well. So we've got a whole list of actions here. There we are. How do we know which ones are for us, for me, and how do you know which ones are for other people? Well, the square is an action for me. So any action that's for me, I'm going to put a square. And any action that is for somebody else, I'm going to put a little triangle. So here we are, we're going to put a triangle here and maybe a triangle there. So from this whole list of actions, we've got 3 items for me and 2 items for somebody else. So that's the basics of it. Now, how do you keep track of those actions? Well, if it's done, like everybody else, you'll put a nice big tick through it. So there we are, action 1 done. And here we are, action 2 done. Great. What about an action that you're not going to do? What you're not going to complete? Well, here's an action, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour it in there. So for me, in my head, that was an action, and I've deliberately decided I'm not going to do it. So it's obvious there. If it's an outstanding action, it might be empty. And if it's an action that is perhaps recorded somewhere else on a different, either digital database or on a different sheet, then we can kind of move it forward like a little arrow there. So simple technique, squares and triangles. Squares are for us, triangles are for somebody else. Put a tick through them when they're done. Colour them in when you're deliberately not going to do them. Any outstanding actions we left empty. And something that's captured somewhere else, we'll put a little kind of forward arrow through. So that's it so far. Hopefully you're still with us. What about when you've got so many actions, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do in what priority. Well, here's our little to-do list, and it needs sorting. So we're going to sort it. So a lot of people may kind of number them 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. You could even do a Moscow on them. Must do, should do, could do, and won't do. Well, if it's a simple list, I'll quite happily I'll just do a simple A, B, C. So A's are the actions you need to do kind of immediately, kind of mission criticals. B's are kind of later on, and maybe a C is kind of very much kind of low down on a priority. So I've got my A's, B's, and C's. If I've got 2 A's or 2 B's, then it's very simple, 1 or 2. So here I've got 2 A's, I'm going to label this one A1 and this one A2. So immediately I know I've got A1, A2, I've then got my B, my C, and my others I can ignore. So it's a really simple technique. You're using A, B, C, 1, 2, 3 against your actions, and that brings a level of prioritization to them. You may find yourself in a scenario where you've got actions that are dependent on others. So you may want to kind of link them. Well, the great thing about this is you've got your little boxes, here we are, and this action here is dependent on this one here, this little arrow. And this one here might be dependent on that arrow there. So you've got a bit of a critical path now. In order to do this one, you need to do that one. In order to do that one, you need to do that one first. So a bit of a critical path when it comes to actions. And yet, whether they're for you or somebody else, you can link these squares with the triangles. So, bit of a recap then. If you really want to kind of remember, store, and keep track of actions, a simple square and a simple triangle can really help it for yourself and for others. If you're wanting to kind of keep track of them, here we are, we've got empty squares, we've got squares that are ticked through, arrow going forward, one here which has been coloured in, and this one here is kind of bold. Well, that's another way of kind of emphasising which action is important. And yet you can do them for yourself, or here we are, triangles for others. So that's it. A really simple technique that you can use and others can use in meetings, post-it notes, bullet journals, whiteboards, you name it. I'd be really interested to learn how you take notes and how you keep track of actions. If you've got any suggestions, put them in the comments below or reach out to us. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Bob Buckley and I look forward to seeing you next time.